If you were able to smell this through your screen, you would be grabbing a plate right now, y'all, with some cornbread to sop it up. This is straight up Southern flavor, y'all. No bouillon, no broth, just real deal collards made from scratch. And the best part is, anybody can make this. So let me show you how easy it really is, y'all.
God, you call me by my name. The love you give me, I just can't deny. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making Southern collard greens with smoked neck bones. Right here you see a pot. I have cleaned my neck bones thoroughly, and what I'm going to do now is prepare to boil these babies down. So I'm going to go ahead and add some water to this pot, and I'm going to add a lot of water, y'all, because I'm going to boil these babies down for probably like 2.5 to 3 hours, y'all. Yes, 2.5 to 3 hours. So and I know a lot of y'all feel like you can't cook, but listen to me. Let me tell you, anybody can cook, y'all. Cooking is not hard. It's just knowing what seasonings to use, how to use your seasonings, how to flavor your meat, and how to follow simple steps. That's all it is. Anybody can do this. If you ever felt like the kitchen wasn't yours, or you just don't know what you're doing in the kitchen, you're always burning things up, trust me, stick around. Stick around. You're going to be feeling different at the end of this video. Trust and believe you will. So right now, y'all, you see I already filled my pot up with water, a little more than halfway. And I'm seasoning my water right now. Now, this water is going to be your pot liquor, y'all. So we have that smoked meat down in there, which is already flavorful. We add in that onion powder and that garlic powder into this pot. Now, these two ingredients are not salty, so you can adjust those to your liking. But y'all, let me tell you, I do not measure my seasonings. I cook with my spirit, my ancestors, and my taste buds, y'all. But don't worry, you can season to your own taste. If you like more or less of something that I'm using, you can adjust. It's your kitchen, so make it yours, okay? That's the key to cooking in your kitchen. Okay, so now that the water is seasoned up really nice, we're gonna let these neck bones simmer down low and slow until they get nice and tender and soak up all that flavor.
2 hours later.
Okay, these neck bones have been cooking for 2 hours, y'all. Look at that. Nice and tender. Look at the broth. Take a look at that, okay? This is no chicken broth. This is no chicken bouillon. This is straight neck bone homemade bouillon, okay? But yeah, it's smelling good. As you can see, a lot of the water has already like cooked down a lot. So when you start adding your greens, you may want to add a little more. But look at this meat right here. Come take a look at this. Look at that. Look at how the meat is just breaking right off the bone. Nice and tender for your greens. This is exactly what I was looking for. Nice and tender. Look at that. I could barely hold it on the fork. It's so tender. Look, it's just breaking. It's just breaking right up, y'all, which is perfect. So it's time to start adding the greens. Also, just so you know, I took the neck bone and I turned it meat side down. I had the bone up and I turned it meat side down so that the meat was inside the broth so that it would cook faster and tenderize better. So I had initially turned these upside down with the bone up, just so you know. All right, so now time to get these greens together, y'all. So this is the greens, and you have to always wash your greens, okay? Now I usually buy the greens that's already inside the package, inside your produce section, the kind that's already cut up in the bag. So I always dump these greens into a colander, and I always wash these thoroughly. You do not want any dirt or any worms in your food, y'all. So you have to be really careful when it comes to greens. You got to make sure you clean them very, very well. We cleaning greens, not eating the garden, okay? I want soul food, not soil food. So I'm using one hand right now, as you can see. So I'm gonna put the camera down right now so I can give my greens a good few rinses so we could go on and proceed with the next step. Now it is time to start adding those greens to that good old pot liquor, y'all. As you can see, a lot of that pot liquor have cooked down into those juicy neck bones. So you may want to add a little more water to this to keep everything nice and tender and juicy. But don't add too much, because keep in mind, as your greens cook, they will make its own water naturally. So you don't want a whole lot of juice in your greens. At least, well, I don't make a whole lot of juice for my greens. It depends on you and what you like. But you don't want to overflow it with too much juice, okay? So right now what I'm doing is blending in all of the smoked meat into the greens, making sure everything cooked down so I could get the rest of the greens into the pot. And yes, I will be needing a little more water because that's just not enough, so I will be adding a little more. So I added the rest of the greens to the pot, and I'm just making sure that all those greens are blended into the broth on the bottom. I'm making sure all of the greens are coated and all that meat is distributed throughout the greens. I don't want one piece of meat on one side. I want all that good old flavor going throughout all those greens. And that's all you do, guys. Clean your greens, you make your broth, add the greens to the pot. You're done. Okay, you're done. Well, let me not say done. You're halfway done. Okay, so once you add the greens to the pot, add some sugar, y'all. Now, this is not going to make your greens sweet at all. It's just going to help balance the flavors. Greens can tend to be very bitter. At this point, you add a little more seasoning as well, because we lost a lot of that broth. We had to add a little more water. So again, you want to balance those flavors out. So you add a little more seasoning. So I went in there with a little more seasoned salt. I'm going in with a little more onion powder, and I'm going in with a little more garlic powder, and I'm adding a little bit of vinegar, y'all. That vinegar is going to give your greens a really good brightness. It's going to balance out those flavors, and it's going to give it that tang that you need, okay? Don't forget to add a little more black pepper. Now, if you like your greens spicy, you can also add crushed red peppers at this point. You can add hot sauce, whatever you like, you can add it at this point as well, so that your seasonings could go ahead and cook down with the greens, okay? Mix it up very well, and you're gonna go ahead and let these greens simmer down on low heat for about an hour, y'all. It's gonna take about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on how tender your greens are, but let that go ahead and cook low and slow.
An hour later.
And there you have it, collard greens with smoked neck bones. Absolutely delicious. And that's right, no bouillon in this, no chicken broth in this, nothing but some good old southern love. That's all you need. If you thought you couldn't cook, I hope this video shows you that you can. All it takes is just a little patience, a little seasoning, and of course a little soul. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you all take care, be blessed, and stay safe, guys. Bye.